What is the main thing we should be worried about now? We've got inflation going through the roof, 5% in America last month, 3.8% core PCI inflation, which is the measure that the Fed looks at, which is the highest in 30 years, since 1992. And this should be, we should be discussing this? I'm afraid not. The main topic of discussion should be housing and the increase in house prices across the four main markets of America, the UK, Israel, Australia. It's gone up on average 10%, but 10% doesn't even cut it in the reality, because that includes low-rising areas, or areas people don't want to go to, such as New York, or in the north of England, that no one wants to live in, which don't go up so high. But the main areas such as Florida, London, Rishon LeZion, Melbourne have gone up 20 to 30% and have not seen any stop. And Canada as well, through the roof. This is the main thing. This is robbery of the young, and it's perpetrated by our governments. And no one is telling them to stop this. No one is telling them increase interest rate right now. We've had enough. We want interest rates to go up. We work, we want to get interest for our money. We want our pensions to get interest rates so that when we retire, we'll have money. We want our houses, our young people, to be able to buy houses. What does it bother me? I own a house. It's doubled in price. What does it bother me that it's bothered in price? The only thing I can do is now buy another house, which is also doubled in price. It doesn't serve any purpose at all that my house is doubled in price. You could say it's gone up to 20 million, 40 million, 50 million. What does it matter? The comparable house has gone up the same amount. And if you want to go up a level, so let's say my house was 200,000 and it went up to 300,000, a 50% increase, but I was looking at a place for 300,000. It's now gone up to 450,000. That's $150,000 increase. Mine went up 100. That went up 150. So therefore, it's actually made things worse for me if I want to go up the ladder. Okay, marginally mitigated by the fact that I bought a house, but still not fully mitigated. So it doesn't happen. It doesn't help all these crazinesses of house price increase. The only people it helps is the elite, people that own more than one house, people that trade in houses, the 1%, right? Everyone else, it does not help in any way at all, right? And it certainly doesn't help the youth, and it doesn't help the kids. We've seen in China what a destructive high house price does, because there they've just broken their one-child policy, made it a two-child policy, and now it's actually a three-child policy, and no one is having any more kids, right? Because no one can afford moving out of their rabbit hutch, tiny little apartments to go out. In the UK, how many big family houses are just converted straight away into 5 or 6 tiny small apartments? That is the business. That's what's going on now. In America, it's impossible to do anything, and worse in America, I'll tell you. In America, Florida and Texas, no income tax. What is there? Property tax. You get charged on the value of your property. So it goes up from $100,000 to $200,000. Your tax essentially is doubled through no fault of your own, through no increase in earnings of your own, right? That is criminal behavior. This is criminal behavior by government forcibly keeping interest rates at 0%. And worse, they added fuel to the fire, because we've had interest rates at 0% for 13 years. If it was at 5%, 6%, it would completely stop this madness, because people can't take on that much mortgage. But what did they do? In America, we've still got mortgage-backed securities, right? That means banks give out mortgages to anyone with a heartbeat, and then just flog that off to the Fed, who buys all the mortgage-backed securities. In England, we had the cancellation of stamp duty, which was meant to be a temporary measure, and obviously the people are trying to go in now and grab that. In Israel, they doubled the cheap mortgage amount. It used to be 1/3 of your mortgage could be this 1% cheap mortgage called prime. Now it's 2/3, so everyone can take on more. In Australia, they increased the cheap, what's it called, the new buyer government support from $100,000 to $150,000. Again, all they've done is just inflate. It self-perpetuates. Once people see house prices go up, Therefore, they think they want to buy, and that increases house prices even more, and it goes up and up and up. And this is criminal behavior because it ruins the young chances of the young. It ruins the chances of the future of other people. They force them to rent, which, as we know from John Maynard Keynes, property is organized robbery. It constrains them to renting for the rest of their lives, to never have any equity of their own. How is this capitalistic? This is worse than communistic. This is disgraceful behavior by our governments, and no one is saying anything. Forward this, make sure people are aware, and let's stop this madness